Hi, it's Ronnie, and welcome to the Paper Crafting YouTubers Hop for December. And the theme this month is "'Tis the Season." So anything Christmas me. It don't even have to be a layout. It could be anything paper crafting. And it's also 14 Days of Christmas with MK and Janet. And so, of course, the theme is Christmas, and I'm combining the two. I am going to scrap this photo right here of my nephew and his family. And these three dies I'm going to be using, and I'm going to throw in another die set before I'm done because I couldn't make up my mind what that was the title. I wanted Wonderland, but it's not going to be that. It's a little bit too long, that die cut is. I guess I could have used something else, but it was a little long. I am using gelatos and um, Tim Holtz crayons and watercolors. I was trying to think. I know there's three there, but yeah, I'm using a bit of a variety here to get the colors that I want. I did not use watercolor paper. I wished I had them. I was thinking this color matched the white on the 49 and Market Holiday Wishes better. And so I was using it. But I think when it's all said and done, I don't think it would have been noticeable. This paper held up very well. It is uh, Cardstock Warehouse whipped cream. And so it's kind of an off-white. And I bought it to go with my off-white papers. And I used two whole sheets for all these die cuts. I did not use scraps. And when by the time I actually got done with it, I thought, I think the watercolor would have worked just fine. This layout took several changes. I had to set aside three different backgrounds I changed my mind on. And when I first got the idea for it, I planned on having white on white for the flowers and greenery. And by the time it was all said and done, I actually made it to this layout for this photo. I decided to watercolor it and give it more color. And the background isn't white like I originally planned either. But I end up liking it pretty good. The photo does have blues and greens in it, and there is no reds. So I thought I'd go a lighter shade of red. I mean, it's almost a pink. It is so light, but yeah, I went with a lighter shade. And here's all of them painted except for a couple. And I'll be done with this part of my layout. I will not be using all of them. I will have extra for another layout. I this is the paper I decided to use out of the 49er Market, and it's got blues in it. And of course, well, I think about all the papers have a little bit of blue in there for this Christmas collection. But I have blue in my photo. But I thought I'd make the top part a darker blue. It kind of looks purple on the video. At least it does on my laptop. But then I'm going to go to that green Tim Holtz crayon there because it goes to a light green down at the bottom of the photo. And I wanted to have that color on there and show the transition between the two colors on my layout. And I'm not sure if you can tell so much when it's all said and done. I can tell it's just barely a little bit of green. I should have put a tad darker so it'd show up even more. But at the time it was wet and I thought it did. So yeah, I wished it had just a little more. I might go back in with a brush and try to put a little more on there. I don't know. No, I don't want to. It looks it looks all right the way it is because I think I covered up most of the green down there at the bottom of the photo. Um, since there is no red in my photo, I wanted to use these poinsettias, so I decided I was going to make them kind of off shade of red because there's white ones and then there's white with pink tinge. I don't know if they use food coloring because I've seen people do that for their flowers or not, but uh, I don't know if I've ever had a poinsettia that wasn't red that was a plant. I didn't do well with them, so I haven't had one in a long time. But I'm using that Tim Holtz die, and it is a layer die, and I first thought about using silver for the top part of the leaves and the flowers. And then I said it was a little too much silver. I didn't want that much. And so I did the tone on tone. Only the top layers that I put on there are a shade darker than the ones that are on the bottom. The media I used for them was wet. They looked darker to start with to me, so I thought I got enough and got it dark enough. But to look at, you can barely tell it's a shade darker in person now. And but I still love the layered part. It adds so much texture to your layout. And I really like it. And the reason I said media instead of watercolors or gelato or crayon, because I do have several different things on there, and I'm not quite sure what I used on the top layers. I did not make this layout today, but I am doing the voiceover today. Now, I thought I would just go down the center and not have anything on the side. Yeah, I am not going to go from corner to corner, end to end with embellishment. I'm just going to go from top to bottom, but I'm going to do a really good job of getting it all covered. And I had it planned to use 5 flowers to start with. Well, they're a wee bit big to use 5 flowers on here, so I'm only going to be using 3. I am going to use some of the pine cones, that largest branch over there on the right, on the top. I'm not going to use it on this layout, but I think I'm going to use a little bit of everything else, if not all of everything else, because I think I only cut a couple of that one out. I don't know how. I must have set the die aside and forgot to pick it back up when I went for the next round. Well, it must have been 3 because I remember having one for each cluster of flowers. Um, let's see where I'm at. I am still putting flowers and greenery on here. So while I am doing that, I want to mention that down there below, you'll find the links for everybody that are doing the 2 hops, the paper crafting YouTubers hop and the 14 days of Christmas with MK and Janet. And the one that hosts the one for the paper crafters is Rachel Talman, and with some help from Rosalie. And she's the one who made the thumbnail for today. And also, it is the 14 Days of Christmas hosted by MK and Janet. So we will have videos for Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So spread out just a little bit, which is pretty good because in case you get behind, you can get caught up a little easier. But let's see, I am still putting flowers on here. It might take me a few minutes. I am cutting some apart and tucking them in, and I did put foam tape behind the poinsettia and also the tip ends of the poinsettia's leaves. Everything else, though, I'm just going to tuck in and glue down. I am cutting, like I said, some of them apart. So I started it with that one that I only did 3 of. And then I decided on a couple others to go ahead and do it so they wouldn't be exactly the same on both sides in the middle. And then I just went ahead and did it on the ones at the top and the bottom too. And I love this 49 and Market collection. It is just so pretty. But of course, it was by is by Katie Petit. So it is absolutely gorgeous. And the let's see, where am I at on here? I get to talking and I forget to look at the layout and what I'm actually doing. The little berries, and I did use Vicky Bouton watercolor markers too. And so for the berries on the berry branch, they are pretty much full Vicky Bouton watercolor. I added a little bit of water to it. I think 2 little spurts of that mister, so that it would be a little bit less strong. But you can tell by looking at it that it is darker, and that is why. When I used it on the poinsettias, I did add a little bit of another color with it. I did map my photo in a really light blue cardstock for one of the ideas that I had for this layout, and then I added another cardstock behind it. But I took that off. I left the light blue one though. and I used a piece of the 6x8 paper pad to add a blue one on this. And I'm going to use the gutting from it to make my title. And yeah, I wanted um, enjoying the winter wonderland, which, the word wonderland would just make it too long to go where I had it planned to put it. So my title's going to be Merry and Bright because I figured with all those lights, it does look bright, and I'm sure they were having a good time. And it's Talon Falls Amusement Park. And you know how some of the amusement parks kind of go all year long and just do different things per season. This is their winter one and Christmas. And yeah, it does look like a wonderland in the photo. That is such a pretty photo. It kind of reminds me of Cinderella's pumpkin carriage, only it's round. It's not actually shaped like a pumpkin. And then it has a bench in the front, like maybe it actually is getting drawn by some animals, which, we can use our imagination and think reindeer. Also has two lanterns in the photo, so I had to use the lantern in the collection. And my title is Merry and Bright because, uh, whatever it was I had as the title, sitting in the Winter Wonderland or enjoying the Winter Wonderland or whatever it was I had planned, just did not fit there. So Merry and Bright ended up to be my layout. And the little lantern, when I cut it out, I punched a hole in the middle. And so I just now clipped that so it'd be open, and I'm going to hook it on top of that little branch there and then put foam tape behind it and hang it up there. I thought that is just so cute with two of them in the photo. They're made a little different though. They are that. I there is in the laser cuts there is twine, and so I'm using one of them on this layout. That they're just so pretty. They look so real and look really good on there too. But I probably will use some twine also with this collection. I use that photo slide there. Well, I guess it's not a photo slide because it does look thicker at the bottom, wider. So I put foam tape behind it to give it some dimension, and I put two tickets in there. The first one I adhered straight to the paper, and the second one I put a little foam tape on the top and tucked it down under. Then I used a phrase. It's not part of the 49 and Market collection, but it's Joy to the World. However, I did mat it with the same. No, I matted it with some green because I had it made up ahead of time. I matted it with some green from the 6x8 paper pad, and then that gorgeous little cardinal bird. Oh, that is just so pretty. And it has bells. And Mercy Tierra always said that if you got a bird on your layout, don't use white for splatters. However, since this is Christmassy and there was already white splatters on the layout, well, the paper in the background, I figured it'd be okay. You could tell it's snow, not something else a bird might leave. So I used the Dilutions White as my splatters, and of course made sure plenty went on my flowers because I love to splatter on my embellishments and my flowers. But if you leave a comment down there below, I'll try to get back with you. And if you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe. And those of you already are, thank you so very much. But isn't that lantern just gorgeous? Totally love that. But that's it. That's my layout. Be sure to check out all the links down there below for everybody that's doing the paper crafting ones and the 14 days of Christmas. So lots of Christmas inspiration, lots of Christmas inspiration for you to check out. But have a happy, scrappy week. Have fun on the hops. Bye.